Hey guys, welcome back to Loft Sports. I'm Tyler.
I'm Alex.
I'm Chris.
Today we're going to be doing a rapid fire Week 9 college football prediction video. Again, Seth is out of town back in Nebraska, so we got some friends of ours filling in. Alex is a big Ohio State fan, and Chris is a North Carolina fan. He gets his revenge in basketball. Alright, so obviously the way we do this, we're going to rattle off our picks here of the winners of each of these games. The big one in Columbus, Wisconsin and Ohio State. Who do you guys think is going to win?
Of course, I'm going to go with the Buckeyes, especially with the Badgers' performance last week. It's a little questionable, so.
Chris?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I don't know who's ranked or what the
Ohio
rankings
State's
are.
ranked higher.
Wisconsin just lost to Illinois.
Oh
last
yeah,
week.
Ohio State definitely.
Okay. I'm going to pick Ohio State. Wisconsin coming off of a terrible loss to Illinois. Even had they won that game, even had they dominated that game, I would still lean toward Ohio State. Fields is absolutely on fire right now. Ohio State, to me, looks like the best team in the country. I don't expect any different result this weekend. Oklahoma travels to Kansas State to take on the Wildcats. Potential upset there?
I'm thinking not with how Oklahoma's been playing. They're probably the top third team in the country, so OU all the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Oklahoma.
As long as they keep the Sooner Schooner from tipping over this weekend. I don't know if they're bringing it to Manhattan, but they had a scary scene there in Norman last week. The wagon completely tipped over. So I'm going to go Oklahoma on the road. Kansas State, yeah, they just beat TCU, but the Wildcats don't impress me offensively. Oklahoma can score in bunches. Sooners all the way. Big one in the SEC West, Auburn trying to get back into the national championship conversation. They take on LSU, Battle of the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with LSU on this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. Auburn, I don't think they're a match for them. Like, they played Oregon close, but LSU, they're just dominating at this point.
Well, we can all guarantee you that the Tigers will win this game, but I think that the LSU Tigers are going to be the ones that win. Joe Burrow's right now playing at an extremely high level. Auburn struggles to score at times. As good as they are defensively, I think LSU will find a way to move the ball. Being at home in Death Valley, I'm going to lead LSU on this one. Big showdown in the Lone Star State, Texas. Scary game against Kansas last week. Does TCU find a way to trip them up?
I haven't heard much about TCU this year and haven't seen much, so I got to go with Texas. I think Herman will rally his boys and get them going again. So.
Yeah. So for the sake of being different, I'm gonna have to go with TCU.
Okay. TCU has been disappointing. I thought they might have a little better season. They're sitting at 3-3 right now. They're still good enough on the occasional Saturday. They could jump up and bite somebody. Texas has looked sluggish at times this year, but I think they rebound. I'm going hook 'em horns in this one. Seth may be at this game. He's back in Lincoln. Indiana comes to town. Do we think Seth's team gets upset on their homecoming day?
Yeah. So.
Indiana.
Yeah.
You going with Indiana?
Yep.
Okay.
6-6.
Okay.
It's going to be a close one, but I think Nebraska just barely wins it with maybe a field goal.
I'm actually going to pick Indiana here. Indiana's only two losses are to Michigan State and Ohio State, and both of those were closer than people would have probably thought at the beginning of the year. Nebraska, if Martinez doesn't play, Nebraska's very beatable. They couldn't do anything against Minnesota the week prior before their bye week. Even off of a bye, I think Nebraska has not impressed me. They're one of the most disappointing teams in the country this year. Sorry, Seth, but I think Indiana's going to pull off the
Is
upset
homeboy
there.
hurt, Martinez?
He's questionable to play this week.
He's
He may
He's been
play.
hurt since Ohio
He
State
may
game.
play, but he won't be 100%. Oklahoma State travels to Ames to take on Iowa State.
Can we get some rankings?
Well, Iowa State is ranked. Oklahoma State's 4-3, so Iowa State would be the favorite.
I'm gonna go with. Who is it? Oklahoma State?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We're going with Oklahoma State.
Upset, okay.
I think I might go with the upset, too.
I'm going to go with Iowa State. I think Iowa State playing at home, their defense, I trust them more. Penn State travels to Michigan State. Hangover for the Lions after their big win?
Yeah, they might be cruising, so it's going to be a close one, but I think they barely win that one. I don't think Michigan State's going to get enough to upset them, so.
I didn't even know Michigan State was good at football, so we're going to have to go with Penn State.
Michigan State's got a really good defense. This is a trap game for Penn State. Coming off of a big win, the Ohio State game is looming, but still a couple weeks away. But I think Penn State is good enough They may start slow, but Michigan State can't score on high school teams right now. They just cannot move the football. I'm going to go Penn State. I think they pull away late. Big one for my Irish. Notre Dame and Michigan. Who you got?
Ooh. Yikes. I don't know. Someone's going to have to go first.
Oh, I'm going with Notre Dame because Michigan haven't been putting up that many points, so I don't think they'll be able to match the Irish at all. So.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with Alex on this one for the sake of, I don't know.
I almost wish one of you would have picked Michigan because whenever
They looked
everybody picks the
horrible,
same,
though.
I know, but I think we'll win. I'll have more on that in my Notre Dame Michigan preview. Boston College and Clemson.
Clemson.
You know, I always hope for an upset, but Clemson always finds a way to win. But I'm going to be saying Boston College just because Clemson hasn't been looking that well. So
This is a tricky game for Clemson. I think they better be careful, but because they're at home, I don't think they have too much to worry about. I think Clemson rolls. Last one, Oregon and Utah are both the favorites in the Pac-12 right now. Oregon's at home against Washington State. Can Mike Leach and his team save their season with an upset over Oregon? You're going Ducks?
Yep, Ducks all the way.
yeah, probably Oregon's going to come out on top on that one.
I picked Washington last week and I almost got it right. I think because Oregon's at home this week, I think they get it done. But this would not shock me if Washington State put it together and win. This kind of has upset written all over it, but I'm going to stick with Oregon. I think the Ducks get it done and keep their outside chances at a playoff alive. All right, thank you guys for filling in. This is Tyler for Chris and Alex for Loft Sports signing off.